Nintendo's been under some intense heat as of last week. Ever since the Switch 2 Direct, Nintendo fans across the world have been unhappy. What should have been something pure hype for Nintendo fans turned into a mess. From the price of the Switch 2, to the increased cost of games, to pre-orders being delayed, a lot of people have been raising their eyebrows and vocalizing their concerns to Nintendo. So as of editing this video, Nintendo has in fact released a statement through IGN regarding the prices of Switch 2 titles. So as stated here in the article, Nintendo has insisted Mario Kart World justifies its shock $80 price tag in response to controversy over the $10 hike for some Switch 2 games. It was also pointed out that Nintendo bundling Mario Kart World with the Nintendo Switch 2 for $4.99, cutting the game price down by $30. So technically, you'd only be buying the game for $50 if you look at it that way. And according to Bill Trennan, he insists that Mario Kart World justifies its price tag and pointed out the upcoming dedicated Mario Kart World Nintendo Direct where fans will learn more about the game and what it has to offer. Trennan argues that the price isn't the main focus. He emphasizes that the price of Mario Kart World reflects its experience, content, and value, and it's not just a strategic decision. He also suggests tuning into the Mario Kart Direct, hinting that it might address concerns like this article mentions of limited roaming discovery. He describes Mario Kart as vast with numerous small details and secrets to uncover, and he also predicts it will be the most expansive and rewarding Mario Kart game to date, with surprise still hidden for players. If you go to Nintendo's YouTube channel, you'll see that they removed the live stream Nintendo Switch 2 Direct off their page, as well as the Nintendo Treehouse live streams. They do have the videos for each segment of the Treehouse, as well as the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct right here. At one point, Nintendo fans were spamming in the comments to drop the price for the Switch 2, and they had this while playing the Wii Shop music. So it's obviously no surprise that Nintendo is attempting to remove any evidence of controversy away from them. They would just like for all of this to blow over and for people to just go back to being loyal Nintendo fans. However, I'm here to talk about one specific thing that has raised a lot of eyebrows amongst Nintendo fans, and that is the introduction of Nintendo key cards, or rather game key cards to be specific. Before we get into the video, be sure to drop a like, and also while you're at it, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with the latest content. What are game key cards? So Nintendo announced the new game key card, which essentially is a hybrid of a digital download and a physical download. So some physical Switch titles are no longer full cartridges. They are key cards that require a download. So this is different from the one-time downloadable codes that you could buy online or in store. According to Nintendo, they're like a hybrid of a physical card that you insert into your Switch, but it doesn't actually hold the full game. Instead, it's your key to download the game. Once downloaded, you pop the cartridge into your Switch and you'll be able to load up the game and play it like a normal physical game. Not all Nintendo physical titles in the future will be game key cards. Certain games only will be physical key cards. Official Nintendo titles will not be game key cards. Those will actually be physical games, unlike third-party titles, which will be game key cards. So how would you be able to distinguish between a physical game and a game key card? You buy the game key card, it has the cover and the title of the game on the box. It comes in a physical Switch box. However, on the bottom of the box, as you can see here, it has a logo telling you that it is a game key card. So full game download via internet required. It's specifically designed for the game that you're buying. So according to Nintendo's website, game key cards are different from regular game cards because they don't contain the full game data. Instead, the game key card is your key to downloading the full game to your system via the internet. Now, this is a little bit interesting because I really don't understand why Nintendo would take this approach. A lot of people, they're all pro preservations of games, and that's why there's a lot of people who are anti-downloading games. I used to be that guy to buy physical games for everything. I have that shelf right there, which contains literally all of my Wii, Wii U, and 3DS titles, and then I have like maybe 10 Switch games. I personally prefer downloading all of my games on my Switch because I like to have all of my games accessible to me at any given moment. Now, there's pros and cons to it. Like the cons of not having a physical game is that you can't lend the game, you can't resell the game, and if something happens to your Switch and you don't have access to your Nintendo account, you most likely won't be able to ever download or replay any of those games. It's essentially lost money. That's actually what happened to my Wii U. I had a bunch of downloadable content on my Wii U. Somebody stole my Wii U. I bought another Wii U after it got stolen. However, I never downloaded all of the titles that I had on the Wii U shop, and that's honestly my bad. Obviously, Nintendo closed down the Wii U shop, so I'll never be able to download those games anymore as they were all digital downloads. However, again, I know it's my bad. I knew the Wii U shop was going to close and it never occurred to me to download all of those games. So that is my L. That is an L that I have to live with. That is some regret that I live with all the time. Every time I think of my Wii U, I want to cry. And screw you, whoever stole it. I think I know who did. I have a feeling who stole my Wii U, but I'm just not gonna say anything. But man, that and my Pokemon binder. I had so many Pokemon cards. So many rare first-gen Pokemon cards. Like, my binder was worth like a fat couple stacks. Heck, it was probably worth like 10 stacks. And unfortunately, it got stolen with my Wii U. I'll never forgive you. My bad for that tangent. It just pains me every time I think of my Wii U. I always associate it with my Wii U and Pokemon cards. I'll never be able to download all those games. I will always live with this regret. But going back to Nintendo's website, how does it work? So you insert the game key card into your Switch and then you download the game. So the game itself isn't included on the key card, so you'll have to download it before you can play it. When you insert the game key card, further instructions will be displayed on the home menu. Once the game is downloaded, you're ready to play. So an internet connection is required when you launch the game for the first time because it's probably gonna need an update, and obviously you're gonna need to download the game. I can understand why also this might be unappealing to a lot of people because people might tend to buy games while they're traveling. At least here in America, hotel internet is pretty much garbage all across the country. So if you are on a trip, you buy a game and you want a physical copy of a game and that game only comes in a game key card, you're gonna have to download the game before you can play it. And if you don't have access to good internet or high-speed internet, you might have to wait a while before you play the game. But that's not the only concern. That's obviously like one caveat that could deter somebody from wanting to buy a game key card physical game. There's also plenty of more concerns. So first, as we said, you need internet to download the game. Unlike buying a physical copy of a game where you could just play it ready to go out of the box without any internet connection, this requires you to have internet connection in order for you to download the game before playing it. Second, the game doesn't download on the key card. It's actually being downloaded onto your console, so it doesn't really save you any space. People tend to also buy physical games because they don't want to have to load up their console with so many games and eat up their storage space. That's actually a concern that I had. I still have some space on my Switch. Yo, I have a 128 gigabyte SD card in my Switch. I only have 4 gigabytes available. I definitely need to get like a 1 terabyte for my Switch. I mean, I guess for me, I don't really download or haven't really been playing many Switch titles. I'm just kind of obsessed with the, you know, just like the classic ones, the good old Switch games like Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart, the Mario titles. So I'll definitely, with Switch 2 around the corner, be investing in a 1 terabyte SD card, which should definitely last me a long time, if not my whole lifetime for the Switch. I've had the Switch ever since launch and 128 gigabytes has been enough for me. Like I said, I don't really play that many games, so it's not a concern for me to have more storage space. For those who do tend to play a lot of video games, then yeah, investing in a 1 terabyte SD card would probably be the strat. Given the fact that the Switch 2 comes with 256 gigabytes, that's a good thing. That's double the space of 128. You'll be able to download a lot of games on your Switch 2 without necessarily having to worry about investing in a micro SD card, but you should invest in a micro SD card regardless if you're buying a Switch or if you own a Switch. Nintendo Switch first-party titles are usually not that big in size compared to like third-party titles. Like for example, you have The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It comes in at 16 gigabytes, Zelda Breath of the Wild at 13.4, Mario Odyssey at 5.6, Animal Crossing 6.2. As you can see, they're not really that big compared to like some other regular Switch titles, like for example NBA 2K23, that's 53 gigabytes, Mortal Kombat 34 gigabytes, The Witcher 3 31 gigabytes, and even with Switch 2, those games are gonna actually be even bigger. Like for example, Elden Ring, I've seen rumors that it's going to be like 40 to 60 gigabytes. If you're downloading games like that and you have a couple of those titles, that's gonna eat your storage up all the way. But aside from all of that, one of the biggest caveats about buying games that are key cards is that you need the key card in order to play the game. So although the game is downloaded onto your console, you still need to have the key card inserted into your Switch before you're able to play the game. So when you buy any title that's in the game key card format, you're going to need to download the game, and it's going to download on your console directly, whether on the console itself or on your micro SD card. But the data will be stored on the console, and the game key card will essentially serve as like an authenticator, allowing you to download the game from Nintendo servers. At that point, you might as well just download it directly and avoid buying the physical key card because it's kind of pointless. Another pro about owning physical games is that you could resell the game whenever you're done with it and you don't need it anymore, or you could just lend it to someone else and they could play the game. I have a bunch of physical copies of any games. If I wanted to play a game that I didn't have and my friend had it, I could just borrow his physical copy, insert it into my console, and I'm able to play the game. However, with the game key card, you would think that it might be the same thing. I don't think it would be a problem in reselling it. I mean, it is a physical key card after all, so anyone who has access to that key card should be able to access Nintendo servers and download the game onto their Switch as well. It does kind of make sense that they force you to have the key card inserted into your Switch in order for you to be able to play the game, because in that case, anyone could have the key card, download the game onto their Switch, and then sell it off or give it out to as many people as they want. They can download it and then have access to it. So it makes sense that you need the key card inserted into your Switch, so that way it limits the game to just one game and doesn't allow duplicates of the game. But like I said, Nintendo on their website, they're not vocal regarding you not being able to sell it or you not being able to lend it out. It seems to be, it works just like any physical game would. Now, another one of the bigger concerns about game key cards is the preservation of games. So remember with the Wii U and 3DS shops shutting down, if Nintendo servers go offline, these key cards could just vanish unless you've downloaded the games already. And even then, you'd still need access to the physical key card. And then there's ownership. You've got a physical key card, sure, but do you really own the game? You're still relying on Nintendo servers. Some of these titles are huge. For example, Street Fighter 6 is rumored to be 50 gigabytes. Elden Ring is pushing around 80 gigabytes. So at that point, why are you even bothering buying a key card? You might as well just download the game on your Switch. Look, I get what Nintendo is trying to do here, but these key cards feel like a misstep. If you're all about physical copies and preservations for trading games, this definitely isn't it. If you're into the digital, you might as well just buy it from the eShop. Do you think key cards are going to be worth it, or do you think it's going to be a total flop? For me, I'm not really upset about this. I've been downloading all of my games on my Switch since day one, and I'll most likely end up doing the same. I might pick up a couple physical copies here and there, maybe Mario Kart World, maybe the next Mario 3D title, but let me know what you guys think. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.